Tuesday, and it's a day of technical difficulties for the myth, the man, the legend, the Mr. Harsh Med.
Don't let him fool you. He just needed an excuse.
So we're here by ourselves. It feels so lonely here.
I love it when the headliner doesn't show up.
I know, it's great. It's great. Who's got an echo?
All of us.
Max. Somebody's got a... Okay, because when I can hear an echo, somebody's definitely got one. Okay, you're muted now, Max. Now Max is having technical difficulties.
No, is it me?
I don't know.
I know I had an echo for a second, and so did Scott.
I don't know. It's StreamYard's just trash. I don't care what.
Max, you have no echo now.
No echo, yeah.
So what's the deal with this video you sent to the chat? That woman put herself in a man's place. I'm sorry.
No, put the video up and I want to hear y'all weigh in. I want to hear y'all weigh in.
No, I don't want to touch on something like that because that has like too many different things going on in it. It's no.
It came right as I was walking to the store, like that came across my feed, and I just said, man, I don't care. I already know the hard way. It don't matter. In the legal system, the man's still wrong.
That's
all
I don't even want to mess with that.
Just like
I
that
do
green
have
alien.
to say, I have experienced in the last couple years a woman getting charged for hitting a man. Oh yeah, I'm related to the woman that got charged for domestic violence upon her own man.
Equal rights, yes.
And
feminism has finally made its mark.
And it's happened a few times. Like, it's not a stretch. Like, I mean, some of these girls, they thought that they were going to get away with what they did. And like my sister, she was caught on doorbell footage. Her man kicked her out. She's standing on the street corner yelling and screaming like a psychopath. He walks up to her to give her something, and she just out of nowhere fucking lays one right into his nuts.
Yeah,
and
you hear that,
floors
ladies?
the man. Yep.
You hear that, ladies that are listening? If you try to frame someone, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get got. Get busted.
How he says they arrest. Well, in some, I guess in some states they do. I know here they don't.
It takes two to tango, but at the end of the day, the one that is the aggressor in Alberta, Canada, the aggressor is the one removed from the home, depending on the extent of the aggression. Dependent on the extent, you can spend the night in holding, or the cops will drop you off at a hotel and they will get the aggressor to stay in the hotel room for the time being. And that is what they choose to do now.
Here they
Let's
are.
See,
really
let's see if does your equipment work now, Harsh?
I don't know.
Yes, we can hear you now.
I don't know if StreamYard's doing this nonsense or if you guys are being trolls, but either way.
No, we couldn't hear you.
That's for us to know.
I didn't do nothing, my friend. I did nothing.
Well, and this is why we have our cast of cartoon characters such as
No, our equipment worked fine.
Hold on. Are you in the play, huh?
Of course, Ali G. Jr. and of course Scott Ryan, Christopher Nikolai. Scott Ryan, Christopher Nicholas Sonnier.
Didn't get me.
No, I won't do that.
Stop that. Just yet. No, you're not going to do it to me. I'll leave.
What? Change the name?
Yeah.
I mean,
why? Jesus.
Howie, I do got to say, I do agree with you 100%. Like, that's what they should be doing. Like, tired of people suing. At the end of the day, if you want to get into a domestic violence dispute, be you a man or a woman, if you are going to be the first one to throw hands, you have no right to claim that you are the abused or that you are the victim. You're just as bad as the rest of them. I am all for the Me Too movement collapsing under the fucking turd of Amber Heard.
Collapsing?
Here in Ohio, they play reindeer games about domestic violence.
Yeah.
It's like
What's
the
the
way
Ali
they-
G Junior comment? What's that about?
Because I'm a great fighter. I'm very famous.
No, he
What?
looks like
Like,
Ali
your
G from the Ali
Your
G
first
show.
one is domestic
Oh.
violence. They'll charge you
I
as
don't
a
know who that is.
Yeah.
Once you get to your third domestic violence, they start charging you with felonies for them. Like, oh, okay, you ain't learned your lesson, little dummy. Here, go to jail. Here, take a felony.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do it again? We're going to increase the severity of your felony. That F5 is now F4. Oh, you little dummy, you want to keep going back to that toxic stuff and doing it again? Here's a F3. Take 5 years.
You little
Yep.
dummy.
I swear that's
Nope.
how I think.
You know what I want to see happening for these false accusations or these false things, like even so far as to post it on Facebook. You want to go into one of these "Are we dating the same guy? Are we dating the same girl?" pages, and you want to drop a picture of that person's face in there, linked with a whole bunch of lies and slander about how they've abused you or whatever they did, and you want to put them out like that. You want to go as far as to press charges and it be a lie. You deserve a full-blown 25 years. Like, you wanted to ruin somebody else's life, your life is ruined. Because
Agreed.
that's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
like
can name off 2 people with that right now.
You don't even need to catch
I
a
didn't say
charge.
nothing.
Just the accusation alone can damage everything for you. Your
Yeah.
job, your family, your kids.
Your reputation,
Your underwear.
your assets.
I mean, in Canada,
sunglasses.
we're looking at possibly
Your
doing
baseball
jail
caps.
time because we want to pick on trans people, or we want to pick on, this new thing where we're trying to say kids shouldn't be allowed to take hormone therapy. We can catch charges for that. It's hate speech.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
why
can lie about somebody being a domestic, like an abuser.
Yeah. That's horrific.
and by lying, omission is also a lie.
Correct.
So we,
Yep.
sis, when you out there telling them man that them people that man a piece of crap, if you just as abusive behind closed doors, tell the people that too, so they understand why.
I'm really losing faith in us as not being able to have an adult conversation. 'Cause
Agreed.
It always happens. We always wind up having adult conversations.
So let's see. I had to learn the hard way. Quit being like that, Hoey. I had to learn the hard way. A lot of dumb handcuffed moments. I had to
Gee.
teach me like, oh yeah.
He says all them letter people should just go by G. What does the G stand for?
Damn.
Oh, I know what he meant by that.
I missed a joke somewhere.
Oh my god. Letter people.
Have you? Oh, well, I mean, I've only know it's from Community because somebody told me. But you know that little Asian guy from what's that movie? The Hangover. There it is.
Oh.
That little Chinese guy. Yeah, in
NJR.
Community, he's going gay.
You know he's an actual doctor.
Yeah.
He quit being a doctor to be an actor
Yep.
It pays more.
and a comedian.
It pays more than being a doctor.
Well, now obviously he makes more. I mean, he's famous now, but he was I want to say he was a gynecologist or something like that before he was
One too many blue waffles walked into his office.
I don't know. It was either a gynecologist or a dentist. I mean, it's some kind of study of an opening of a body. Let's just put it that way. I don't remember.
So he
which
likes
one.
orifice.
He could have been a proctologist. I don't know.
Oh,
Hoey for the winner.
bingo.
Less lawsuits.
Oh, by the way, speaking of transmissions, there was a teacher that refused to use child's pronouns or self-proclaimed pronouns in California, and a jury just awarded her $365,000 in damages.
Oh, the child?
No, the teacher. Because
For
she
not
was
using
fired.
the right pronouns? Yes.
Yep, they fired her for not using the right pronouns, and she won a lawsuit. against the school board, and they've been ordered to pay her $365,000.
Nice. Get that money, sis.
Yeah, as long as they actually pay her.
Where I'm from, the big headlines today is Premier Danielle Smith is banned from all Pride events in 2024. Our premier got banned because she took away their rights to have gender affirming care before the age of 18. So they told her she's not allowed anymore because she won't let children get mutilated.
That's probably good for her anyway.
Like I said, the small wins, the teacher getting paid out, my premier getting banned. Man, I can't wait for more of these success stories to come out.
Yeah, I mean it's gone too far in the other direction now.
It's starting to backfire.
I just can't even understand the mind. I'm gonna be honest. This is something I can't even understand the mindset behind, right? Like, okay, I've got teenagers. If my teenagers came up to me, be like, whatever they would choose to their sexual orientation to be, that's them. I'm not gonna judge them for that. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna, as a parent, be like, oh yeah, you can get something to rearrange your sex organs. That's a decision you want to make. You do that when you're an adult. I'm not making a decision for you.
I respect it.
So I can't even understand how this is a topic. Dead honest.
I can't
amongst us. I'm saying in the world.
No,
I can't understand. I can't process it.
Yeah, most people in the world are laughing at Western society because of this sort of nonsense. That's what people don't get. Like people in other parts of the world are laughing at, North America and parts of Western Europe for this crap.
In my opinion, we just said it plain out the best. Like this,
it is child abuse.
It is. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like people talk about child abuse and things like that. Like bad parenting. That's a epitome of a crappy parent. That's just crap parenting. No other way to put it. And I say that screw any other association or viewpoint. I say that strictly as a father.
That's true. I mean, the reason why people like Max and I don't understand these things from a background standpoint is because we're too melanated to understand these things. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This is what happened.
This ain't about fucking race, okay?
I heard that, Maxie.
The majority of these idiots doing this are Caucasian.
That is a lie.
That is a lie.
The bold-faced freaking lie.
That is a
bold-faced lie.
Everything you just said.
Have you ever been to Thailand?
No. The most prominent speaker for trans movements down in the States is a black woman now. She is a woman now, but she is one of the predominant speakers that you see out there every time. The one that leads all the rings out here, she is a black woman. I am going to tell you that right now. It's not mostly white people. It is mixed with all races. All races are around there.
Thailand seriously. Everyone's like,
it doesn't matter. I mean, they have more lady boys there than they have actual men and women.
You go to Bangkok.
Thailand's like a whole different.
You killed everything you was going to say. Basic English structure. It's like starting with a sentence with the words "I can't." I can't do this. It's a double negative.
I was being facetious when I said that. But the point being is
doing that. That's not even that. That's bro. You gotta have a better rebuttal.
Anyway, the point being, I was trying to say is the majority of these people who say this whole
think that I'm a knockoff Louis Farrakhan or something.
I'm not. I never said you were. But the point being is, I've noticed that the majority of these like families that say, "Oh, I don't know my gender. Oh, I don't know this. I don't know that."
Dollar Tree Louis Farrakhan.
Dollar Tree. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I hate to say it, but these are the Becky and Karen types, and they have children.
I'm shipping Harsh a swastika for Christmas.
$1.
Well, I mean, some of the page already believe that.
They expected me to walk around talking about Hail Hitler.
All things Timu.
Well, I didn't say.
Louis
What did
Farrakhan
I
from Timu.
Timu sucks.
What was
I'm
so
starting to
Louis
wonder if
Farrakhan-
you're a double agent.
what is so Louis Farrakhan about saying that? Hey, the majority of the people who have these trans families tend to be in the Western world tend to be
In the
Well, no
Western
shit,
world, obviously,
Sherlock.
because that's predominantly white anyway. I mean, that's just a dumb statement. That's like saying, you know, hey, look, most of the cross-dressers that live in Africa are colored. Well, yeah, obviously, because that's the predominant race. I mean, come on, it's like the dumbest argument ever.
But there is a very nice mixture of it. I will say that there is a lot of different races in it. And to put a race on it is taking away from anything else that you could possibly have to say to fight with it, because you are bringing race into it. And that is
And I'm
ruining
gonna
the
tell you right
entire
now,
thing about it.
90% of the ones you see in Louisiana are people of color. You don't see any white people doing that here.
Not the most well-spoken one that comes out and talks about most of it is a black woman. Same thing as one of the most well-spoken anti-trans people. Not even anti, like, she's not transphobic. She just doesn't buy into this new age where we got to start mutilating children stuff. She doesn't like where it's gone to. She is also a black woman. It is not a white woman that's out there making viral videos.
Yeah, but why is it the fact that in these white liberal spaces, especially in places like California, it's they're usually
Because that's their 90% of their population.
Yes, it is.
I mean, come on.
Sadly.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
When somebody outweighs the majority is always going to outweigh the minority. Period.
Right, but it's less.
So when the majority of the people are a certain way, that's where all of the weirdness is going to come from.
Right, but it's less than 1% of the actual population, and we're still making and this is still such a heavy topic.
For who though? For who though? People are starting to get tired of it.
This is becoming
tired of it.
You got to think it's becoming a topic because it's something that's being pushed. It's being pushed in Hollywood. It started ever so subtly with Finding Dory, because everybody was so upset that there was no lesbian couples. So they inserted a lesbian couple into Finding Dory, pushing a stroller. And that's where it all started coming to head, is when they started realizing that the way to get their equality, because as some of these people that have to fight the inequality and the oppressions of the people that do outnumber them, right? They have to utilize those venues. They've got to push. So yes, it is 1% of the population, but they are also somebody that is a vulnerable member of our population. So they're being heard. They're being listened to more. They're also heavily attacked, which makes them a prime example to put in the forefront, because it is the most meaningless thing to fight over, but it is such a big topic because it affects our children.
Right.
Just keep on swimming.
Right.
I don't know, John.
You're
You're not a
for
parent
10
yet.
minutes to be able to say that.
Yeah.
He waited for like 10 minutes to say that.
Oh, I was gonna say
It's just
something
like,
else.
it was like the whole Dory thing, and then he just sat there and waited.
Well, I was gonna say.
I'm hatching this egg. This egg is coming.
I was actually gonna say. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Right, but there is also a supremacist element in some of these LGBT circles, from what I've been noticing lately, too, and that's why you have a racist white supremacist element in this that no one ever talks about.
Because race isn't a thing when it comes to the LGBTQ thing a whole lot. It honestly isn't.
Well, yeah, because of melanated. I'm not going to go there with that one. No, but I will say
the thing with you, Harsh, and I'm going to say it because you put me in a position to freaking say it. But you look for any opportunity. It doesn't matter what conversation we have, what day of the week it is. It winds up with Harsh blaming the white people for everything in a white country.
But who are the predominant people who are pushing this whole "what's my gender, what you do this"? When it comes to pop culture and all that, it's not. There's a lot of white supremacy in these issues that no one ever talks about. I mean, Beaufont and I have had these conversations about this.
No, the
The hell is
biggest
both want?
We've had this conversation. It's like they don't want equality; they want supremacy. If they wanted equality, no one would ever say anything. We wouldn't be having any of these conversations. Yeah, to a point, I am. You're right. I don't care. Anyway, but
if somebody
it's
doesn't
stupid.
care, you sure say it a lot.
He
Well,
really
I'm trying to
does.
because I always get cut off when I'm talking about some of these issues that no one ever
Well,
seems to
well,
have any nuance about.
because it's not you make it an issue. It's
Because-
really not an issue. I mean, it's
Harsh, hear me out, bud. Obviously, no secret. I am what America calls black. That is not a secret.
damn. I didn't even know that. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Right? I thought he was an alien.
clue you in.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna now clue you in on daily happenings in my life that I learned to just overlook and act like it don't even exist, because all it does is show me people's ignorance. I go to the store right now. I drive myself to Walmart right now. I want something from Walmart. I'm going to pass somebody in that parking lot who's going to look at me and judge my appearance and feel the need to hit their car alarm to double check that their car is locked.
I agree with Max right there.
Yep.
100%.
I'm not
do
gonna
that
lie.
with me too, so.
It would happen.
All
It
right.
happens every trip, bro.
Yep.
Everywhere.
You
Doesn't
kinda- you
matter.
kinda
There's always
learn-
that one
you kinda-
person.
You kind of learn that there's dumb people in the world. They're
Right.
dumb. You go about the world in your head chuckling at their dumbness, bro.
I know, but the problem is we can't even have these actual conversations about certain things.
Because conversating about it isn't going to do nothing but activate all them belief systems, and everybody's going to fight about it. And not when I say everybody, not specifically us, but in society. That's how people
Right,
are wired.
But
You don't
voices
always
can change things.
To an extent.
Yes, to an extent, but it still can change things.
I mean, yeah.
But here's the thing: is it can change things when it's gone about appropriately,
Technical difficulties.
right? If you want to sit down and discuss a problem, right? And as a panel, we were discussing an issue, right? And that issue was being conversed about.
Okay.
And the
I
only
can hear
thing that
now.
you could think of and to come up with is that you just instantly wanted to talk about the white aspect of it, which is taking away from an issue that we were discussing. If you want to discuss race, we can have a race discussion and not have the discussion we were having. But you need
that
to
happens, I
have
have
that
not typed.
conversation properly.
I'm sorry, my headphones. Yeah.
His headphones disconnected
No, I
temporarily.
mean, yeah, I just don't understand
Put the
how
pack up here, so
how everyone always ignores the nuance in these situations. First things first, what I was gonna say on top of the race stuff is we're not this LGBT stuff's not even about equality anymore. It's not about equality or social equity or justice. It's about privilege at this point. It's about wanting to be treated special because of that, or being elevated because of who you are. It's not about equality anymore. Like, when's the last time? Like, let's be honest. But when's the last time you've witnessed someone being rejected from a business because of, because they were a part of the alphabets?
I'm not gonna lie, in my lifetime, I have never seen it.
Right.
Oh, I hate you right now. Do I have to answer this question? Can I?
He asked about LGBTQ, and I, from where I live, I can actually say it's never happened here, that they've never been denied access
Right.
to a business because they were gay, trans, or whatever.
Right. The last time I remember hearing about any of that was with the Supreme, was when, a couple in Colorado, a gay couple in Colorado was, denied a wedding cake, and it went to the Supreme Court. But that was 10 years. But that was 10 years ago.
Okay, Max, what's your answer? Because I actually do want to hear your answer. I just wanted to make sure I specify that I'm talking about my geographical location.
I have never heard that. I've besides like seeing headlines on the news, that's the only time I've ever heard that. Like, dead honest, seeing it in real life, I don't hear that. I also wanted earlier, Harsh. You would ask me like why I be why it's not really a topic of conversation I get towards. I'm gonna give you an example.
Not you. I'm saying you.
I'm just saying in general.
All right.
Them are like really loaded topics. Like me personally, here's where being a minister comes into play for me. It is not my position to judge anybody in life for their choice. I don't judge them.
Agreed.
Even if I don't agree with it or see the logic, it's not my place to even speak to it from a place of judgment. That's why.
No.
Harsh has an echo.
Right. Of course.
You have a meow echo.
See the
On what Hoey said.
Of course, I have an echo. But anyway,
This was what Hoey said. I've witnessed people get hired solely because they checked a box on a form.
Categorizing. That's categorizing.
Yeah, but it happens.
This is becoming a predominant issue, especially up here. And this is where we're starting to see the negative that Harsh is talking about and that Maxx deals with and that I do see that happens here. Because we're going into a world where in my country, if you are born Canadian, and that doesn't matter your color of your skin at that point, if you are born Canadian right now, you're least likely to get hired and you cannot achieve a lot of the same things that some of the new people that come here. It has been announced in our news that they get free access for the next year or so. As long as you are a brand new Canadian, you get free access to all national parks. You get free access to zoos, aquariums. They are paid for their first year here. They get at least $4,000 to $5,000 a month, and all these things, right?
I'm going to Canada to my bread for a year.
Like we should.
Yeah,
right? Well, that's what I'm saying. You should come here. That's their enticing-ness. Now, here, you also have to, by requirement, you have to hire X amount of Aboriginal people. You have to hire X amount of immigrants, or else you cannot meet the lines. So people are getting hired because they check that box to meet those requirements that are now federal inclusivity requirements. We also have to do sensitivity training on how to deal with immigrants and Aboriginals when we get new jobs.
You're right. But women have fought for that right to where they can work. And now we're seeing that this other group, not trying to categorize it, but
the trad wives,
the LGBTQ whatever, they're sitting there fighting for their rights too. That's what we're seeing. And now eventually it's going to get to other sections and other
the main thing I see
things where it's going to be them fighting for that.
I mean, the main thing I see is the taking away a woman's power.
Outside of what Scott's going to say from a woman's point, Josh, when we fought for our rights, there was a big difference. The new age neo-feminazi nonsensory that's coming out alongside this LGBTQ, which I do feel it is a response to this, because people have said that, why are you being so against them when they're fighting for the same thing? We did achieve equality. The minute we were allowed to work and the minute we were allowed to vote, most of those women, they took that and they ran with it. They didn't keep picketing. They didn't ask for more at all. Like, there was some that started going, we can live without men, because men were abusive. Women were too. But the LGBTQ did achieve equality, at least in my country. I know your guys' country was a little bit slower to it because you guys have religion so heavy in your politics. It's on your money. Like, you guys are a religious country. We're not. It was easier for us to remove those restrictions that you could have same-sex marriage. It was very quick. It was easy. We implemented all those things. They had the exact same rights that straights did up here for over 10 years. This is going extreme.
But the problem I see is that it's basically still in a woman's power. Everything y'all fought for, now these people are trying to encroach on. I mean, they're taking the word mother away and trying to change it to birth person. You know, that's disempowering a female. Period. That's taking away a gift. Literally.
They're also
They're,
categorized.
they're also competing in sports. You know, this is stealing a woman's essence from them, and it's like nobody even sees it.
Now they're trying to make it to where I can identify as a square.
You can identify as a season. You can identify as a season too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, apparently. So I mean, it's all ridiculous to me. Okay, you don't need to identify yourself as whatever. Okay, just go by your name.
Yeah,
Just be yourself.
Exactly, be yourself. Thank you, sir.
All I'm gonna say is that when Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year in 2015, I just knew this was gonna go down this slope. And that's all. And I'm just gonna say Caitlyn Jenner's not the only one like that when it comes to that demographic.
They got too much money for us to be trying to tangle with, but I don't want no smoke with the Jenners.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they kill off their own men better than anyone else. But the point being is,
she detransitioned.
That's why he doesn't want anything to do with them.
She detransitioned, y'all.
But I'm just saying, people like Caitlyn Jenner in that community are not exactly what do you call it?
I don't want the smoke when y'all hear this. He want all the smoke, not me.
Hey, you only get the smoke if you're in a relationship.
Better watch it. Caitlin's gonna run over you with her.
Otherwise, you only get the smoke if you're in a relationship with them. Otherwise, you're fine.
And then get out of the drunk driving charge. Be careful.
He's in Chicago. He'll be all right.
Right. I'm just saying that only works if you've been intimate with any of the Kardashians. Otherwise, you're fine.
See, Hoey, you should not be allowed to have a keyboard sometimes.
I love Hoey.
But he's right. He is right, though.
Yeah, technically he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's absolutely right.
Bruce got his bank inside.
I love the fact that Bruce never even tried to change his voice.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot of...
Bruce got his cake up and wanted to spend the rest of his life living as Caitlyn.
Yeah,
For all you on the radio, Hoey said, Caitlyn Jenner is ridiculous. She's never worked a day in her life. She's living off the money that Bruce made. That is what they're discussing.
All right. Since I shouldn't say certain words or certain phrases on the show, apparently, I'm just gonna say Dave Chappelle.
No, she's narrating for the radio people.
No, I know, but I'm just saying Dave Chappelle was very accurate about this topic in his comedy stand years ago. That's all I'm gonna say, which is what I was trying to get at. But certain words are very sensitive for certain people. Anyhow,
hold on a second.
I'm just saying. Dave Chappelle is hilarious and he's accurate.
Hold on a second. Welcome back to the show, Josh.
Thank you, sir. Good to be back. How is everybody today?
Good. So,
anyway, you're not going to answer? Okay, fine.
No.
Anyway, Dave Chappelle is hilarious. But at the same time, he was accurate about that topic, which I was trying to get at before all the craziness happened. But the thing is, it's a major issue that people don't understand, that no one ever talks about. A lot of these social issues in general, everyone has this dated 80s and 90s mentality when it comes to it. It's like, you live in 2024, not 1982. You live in 2024, not 1998. Why are you talking about these issues as if it's still the 80s and 90s?
Because people still make them relevant.
Bingo.
But the circumstances aren't the same, though.
The same could be said for us not accepting the LGBTQs.
Who's not accepting the LGBTQs?
That's what they're saying, though, that we're not accepting them still. right? That's what I'm
They-
saying. Like it's an old issue. All of them are every single issue is history repeating itself. That's all we're gonna do. We're condemned to do it for the rest of our lives, is to completely repeat history until it
well, because-
implodes on itself.
It's because we're in a world where we're about to be at 50 genders.
No, it's because
50.
that may all be so, but it's also because people they don't want to accept what things are today. They want to always go back to the past. You know, nostalgia is fine to a point, but now when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, if
They're just paving the way for when we're not going to have flesh bodies anymore. We're just going to be brains in a jar. It's going to be fine.
So in like 10 years then.
Yeah, we're not going to have genders anyways because we're just going to be brains in jars. That's what it is.
If we're fortunate to survive.
Eventually, yeah, probably.
Eating crickets.
If not, we're all gonna be dust because of that star that's cooking us every day.
Right. I mean, that's
Conversation.
It's a me, Mario. How you doing? Fine, you guys are quiet.
I mean, I would,
good
but
audience.
I don't know. People just like to overcompensate, and people like to be miserable, and people they don't want equality; they want supremacy, and that's all this is. And what we're all talking about is a byproduct of it.
It's just a cluster of haywire. That's what it is.
It is. Oh my God, we're oppressed. Were you alive during the Harvey Milk era? What would you know about oppression if you weren't alive during the Harvey Milk time? I'm just asking.
I mean, since we're at the point for like identities, so that means Max will be like he identify as an alien over there. Harsh will probably be a circle. I'm a square. And then what are you guys gonna identify as?
I don't know.
I identify as fall because that's all I do is fall.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Jean Grey.
We might as well make this into something funny.
I don't know.
I'm gonna identify as one of those plants that come out the pipe
No.
and eats people.
You did remind me of another character in one of those levels, but I won't mention their name.
Harsh, just kick the freaking door down when you walk in here from now on. Why don't you? This is Harsh's condo.
Boom!
Kick it down. Kick it down.
And there's the outro music for Harsh Med.
It's funny because, you know, like, Harsh is just a brown Mario, like, really, at the end of the day. He just comes in and jumps on everybody's hopes and dreams. Fucking ruins everything when he comes through. Can't even do his job. Always high on mushrooms. Like, damn.
D,
Whoa.
even though there's no proof out there, D.
You ain't sent me none?
Right? He doesn't share. That's what Mario does.
Why would I share? Y'all are self-centered as hell.
We're just figments of your imagination, Harsh. We are what you make us.
I know.
D, with that, we might have proof, but there's something out there. That's for sure. I mean, people are saying that we're our genetically mutated alien species.
Yeah, well,
That comes from
you gotta
holiness,
look at it
I believe.
realistically.
I love it.
Given the fact, mathematically, it's impossible for there not to be any other life out there. Mathematically, it's impossible.
You heard him say it.
Period. We're one planet in one solar system in a galaxy that's full of billions of solar systems.
In a galaxy far,
And a universe that's full of trillions of solar systems. I mean, trillions of galaxies. I mean, it's just mathematically, it's impossible for us to be the only ones. Period.
Trillions.
Okay, so if I think of aliens, like how I was raised to think about aliens, I have encountered many of them. Because if you think of aliens like Mork and Mindy and things like that, like they ain't the smartest. I'm starting to think the dumb people I encounter are aliens.
Not necessarily. I mean, we're a biped
I
species
like the
because
way
that's
Josh
what
was like, maybe.
we're a biped species because that's what works the best on this planet. I mean, we don't know what other types of atmospheres that other things can live in. But, you know, so we don't know if these might be like spider creatures or something, intelligent spider race or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I
We
mean, if
may
you
never
think,
see anything ever. They
well,
might be
think
watching us like we're a bunch of idiots. Who knows? We don't know.
They'll be looking at Max right now and be like, "What the hey is he doing? He's messing in front of the camera with his thumbs."
No, he's controlling the world right now with his
Yeah, I know.
his Ocean Gate submarine controller.
Submarine
I love how
That's
Scott
horrible.
he jumped in and he said, yeah, it's mathematically impossible because there's a lot of things that if you look, you find the math for. Like these nice thumbs that I've been trolling around in the camera. Do you realize how hard it would be for us to do the things we did if we didn't have these thumbs?
A lot.
Well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything with an opposable thumb becomes intelligent either.
D's got a point there
No,
too.
not at all. I'm just saying, like, bit
I
by
mean, look
bit.
at raccoons. Raccoons have opposable thumbs.
Raccoons have
Primates. Yes.
I didn't know
well, you got to
raccoons.
think of it in the way that we've pretty much obliterated our predecessors every time that we've evolved. Whereas a lot of these other species on Earth, like dogs,
Or did
cats, me and Harsh, we did a show on the history of dogs and stuff like that. Like, if you actually look at it, we as a species, because of our supremacy needs and constantly need to be the supreme overlords, we've basically destroyed the link between us. And if you want to believe in the whole evolution theory that we came from apes or from them, right? Like, there's the link in between. There's the other Homo sapiens that were in between us that we've managed to wipe out. We don't have any more of them.
Right.
Whereas the
Hold on,
dogs
hold
and the cats, if you look, you can see the evolutionary line of them when you go travel around the world
You
and
can't.
encounter these different species.
It's
Or
the needs and stuff. It's like,
Or-
oh, I identify as a square. That's my need.
what if we didn't so much as obliterate them as we just don't have the them?
Well, I mean, we're by nature a very violent race. We're a very violent being.
All right.
So,
You know what?
given
It
that
could,
fact that we're probably obliterated.
right, but
The
it could be
subject-
both.
Like getting on subjects
What
about
is this
DNA,
cookie saying?
it's interesting
It's
because
got my attention there.
With
I've
that one.
always like
Yeah.
thought about things in like the double helix and like wave patterns. And more as I play with my music software and I'm watching, like there's a little screen on it at the top where like a wave comes across, like when you're making a music project, you see like this wave. And it's just interesting as you're playing with sounds and doing things as you watch how that wave dances. And
Have
then
you watched the way the waves dance when you manage to catch the sound coming from plants?
What?
catch the sounds coming from what?
Plants.
The plants, the wavelengths of the sounds that plants emit at such a low level that we can't hear, it's actually a very pretty wavelength.
No,
Okay.
I have not
Okay.
watched Terrence Howard's Theory, and I'll explain why I have not yet. It is hard for me to watch him give any type of enlightening information because all I can hear is his voice saying, "Whoop that trick."
Oh, God.
So
That's legit. That's legit.
Man.
y'all got to give
20
me a moment
years old and
to
still
understand. I'm serious. So like,
No,
I was
let's-
a big hustle and flow head. So like, I definitely want to start checking out his videos. But every time I get to watching his videos, all I hear is that or like Empire scenes playing in my head. So I got to kind of be able to take him seriously now.
that song is still played in like every other sports arena in this country. Whoop that trick. The Memphis Grizzlies play that after they're leading
Oh.
a game or something all the
And
time.
a funny twist of irony, he was the trick that got whooped.
Right?
He was the trick that got whooped because they sure tricked him out of a lot of money for making that song.
Whoop that trick.
So the way that ended,
the guy that started the Hyperion thing on YouTube, I can't watch his videos. Like, I'm intrigued by some of the things he has to say, but like,
I
everything about him is so wrong.
Oh, it's Hollywood.
I actually follow him. I like he cool, but you're right. I mean, sometimes he gets to go in a little bit like
He loses me a lot. Like, I'll get into it and I'll be like really like looking at what he's saying, because like a Reddit thread sent me to him one day and I was like, all right, you know, like I'll check it out. But like his whole persona, like just the way that he almost like overdoes the way that he presents himself. It's like there's something amiss. There's something underneath there that I'm intrigued to find out. You know what I mean?
He's trying too hard. But so here's how I approach, like when I'm like looking at different people's like material. A lot of times it'll be a lot of them people, they are giving you their analysis of material that they've came across. So once I find out what material you'll be like they're even like mentioning, I go and start and find that material myself.
Yep.
And
it turns into a rabbit hole. I love rabbit holes.
I got a couple that I'm structuring for Mondays actually.
Have you guys ever looked up to hear what a little baby bunny makes the noise?
No, I have
said
not.
rabbit holes, and he just veered off course.
I'm sorry, but I mean it's kind of funny. It was.
What's in that beer?
I don't know.
Where?
Crack, I think.
Where?
The one you were drinking earlier.
What one I was drinking earlier?
Oh,
You need to start sharing, Josh.
I
You need to
gotcha.
start sharing.
Facepalm
So what
moment.
sound does it make? Tell me.
A little baby bunny. It goes eat.
Yeah.
Seriously. YouTube it. Then make a squeaking noise. That's it.
Just YouTube it. Yeah, that's what I want my YouTube history to reflect.
I was really let down. Josh just built it up.
He
so
built that up
much.
and then just threw it on the ground.
He tripped and fell. Like, it was bad.
I'm sorry.
It's like it was supposed to be a dad joke, but it didn't even qualify as a dad joke.
What do you mean you've heard enough of them dying?
His cats keep killing baby bunnies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Have you ever heard a heron?
Harem?
No, a heron. Like it's a bird. The real birds.
Oh, a heron. Heron.
Yes.
Yes.
That conversation.
That's the scariest sound I've ever. Like in the middle of the night before, when I'd never heard one, it was coming out from the bush. I hunted that thing down. Like I actually thought like something was dying. I didn't know what, but it was a mixture of like fox sounds and like babies dying and screaming. It was weird.
Don't forget the mountain lion.
Yeah,
they scream like women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen those videos where the officers come out and investigate about a scream, and then they hear it, and they're like, "Oh shoot!" They go running back to the car and they drive off. Like
I was about bald offended. You are bald.
You're bald.
You have no hair, Hoey. Stop playing with people.
I can lend you some that falls out because I lose a lot of hair.
Always such a
falls out. Oh, falls out.
Yeah, I shed. Like I lose. I still have lots, but I lose hair. Like
so how is he gonna have
twice a year? You know, once with her winter coat, and then again with her summer coat. She sheds it off, and then.
How are you gonna put on his head? What are you gonna do? Super glue it?
Gorilla glue it. Gorilla glue.
We could implant it.
Oh God.
He would need the whole root for that, though.
He's gonna have Jackie Hygienes in him.
There'll be
She's trying to
microchips.
give him,
Don't
like,
worry.
bad hair.
He'd be like the first human being to have 3 different things in him.
Plugs. I've seen people with those. They look like reflected dolls. You know, like the dolls have those little plugs of hair in them.
Yeah.
That's what they look like when that stuff starts growing back. They look like the little dolls with the little plugs everywhere in their head. Don't do that, people.
Doll hairs.
No.
Don't do that.
I've got
I'll make
plenty
sure to
of
pass
pubes
the
taking
information on
place
to
here.
Dad for when the inevitable balding happens.
I'm just gonna grow a big beard and shave it all off and glue it to my head.
Harsh almost had a mohawk and then he went and got a haircut.
Illuminati, what's up? I'm ready to sign on the dotted line. Hit my email if you're recruiting. I'm ready.
Yeah, they'll be like that one guy in the background, like,
You gotta
recruit that.
learn how to do the secret handshake first.
That's
I don't know what it is, so ask Harsh. She's Illuminati. He can tell you.
Oh,
He's our resident white supremacist.
I need
Dude,
to
guy. Oh yeah, that page is awesome.
The Bollywood white supremacist.
No, I don't want the
Bollywood white
spam.
supremacist.
I want the real deal Illuminati to show up on my door with the sign here. I need some money.
They make you sign in blood.
I got a lot of people I can sacrifice. Let's go.
I had,
Oh man.
you know, speaking of this, I had one send me a message like that a while back. I was like, "Do you want me to make fun of you or not, dude? Because this will get you made fun of." And he just responded back, "No," and then he blocked me.
One of them, I really made him believe that I hacked him.
Illuminati scams are, yes, they are real. I mean, all scams are real.
Scams are real. Scams are us.
Well, I also told him that we are going to give him like a fat cheeseburger and it'll make him explode.
So speaking of scams, let me give the younger generation some education.
Uh-oh.
This is from the perspective of somebody that is fired jobs, was going through job applications. When you put an email address down for your job, do not use email addresses that say things like hit a lick 75, Scammerman 2020.
Big Booty
As a
Licious
manager,
69.
If that is your email address,
Big
I
booty loose
back
60.
your application up. You think I'm about to put you on my cash register when I got to deal with the consequences? No, baby.
Max, if you got people younger than our generation doing stuff like that, considering they're supposed to be like the tech,
I'm
the
giving you true
internet.
story.
They're not. They're not. They're falling for the same scams the boomers used to fall for.
They considering the fact they grew up with this sort of the internet, that's pretty bad.
It
That's
is.
really
It's very
like-
bad.
I've been waiting
That's-
to make jokes about that. Like some of the emails I used to, like the accounts I used to see on job applications just would have me like, you expect to get a job with this email. You little dummy.
I thought, aren't they the ones who are supposed to have like 70,000 different emails, like half of them for spam and half of them for like business and school or whatever?
They fall for the hardest. They
I
fall
was
for
just
it the hardest.
That life is full of ironies. It really is. Life is ironic.
Lonely,
That's all I can
lonely
say.
people fall for the scams the hardest. All
Hey,
of
you know
them
what's even better?
what?
Is when you see a free software ad in your email and you click on it, right?
Oh, yeah, no, buddy.
Oh, hold on. It gets better. So you click on it, right? And then you're on the phone with them. They're like, "Oh, we need to take over your computer so we can install the software," right? And it's free, supposedly. And then before they can pull up your bank account information, you freeze their computer. And then what gets even better is when you tell them to press any button on their keyboard. So when they press it, the computer just completely blacks out. Everything erased.
Yeah.
It's easy to do that, especially.
I did that.
Yeah. I click on all the links. I'm not
Right.
gonna
No.
lie to nobody.
Right. You know, like how some of these bots will message your phone number just randomly out of the blue.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Harsh. Are you coming to your appointment of 2 p.m. at Baton Rouge?
Oh yeah, you know what I do sometimes? Sometimes I'll say, sorry, you have the wrong person. My name is Scott. Or sorry, no. But there are people I don't like that I'll actually use their names. I'm like, sorry, my name's William. Nice. This is it.
I'll answer and I'll play along for a little bit with them. They'll ask me for my name and I'll give them a fake name. I'll give them a
Same
phone
thing.
number. I'll make up some wild social insurance number. Right? And-
Social insurance.
Exactly.
oh yeah, like I love messing with them, and then when they type it all in and they go, well, none of it's working, and I'm like, oh, well, you must have typed it in wrong, and then they hang up on me because it took them 10 minutes to figure out that I was just screwing with them.
Well, I dealt with so many scammers that most of them are from Nigeria, and they're just sitting there trying to get up enough money from the Americans so they can pay for their way to get here.
Dude,
How ridiculous is that?
Very.
And then you see people from Africa, and they still have a lot of money. Like, so what? You scammed them, and then now you come here, and you're still scamming them?
Yeah. Dude, I remember one time, I think I did a live stream on this. Someone pretended to message my phone saying they were an FBI agent. And I'm like, you can't even, okay, Muhammad, you can't even say the words FBI special agent in a row, 3 words in a row. And you're going to tell me that I'm an FBI agent. Oh, okay. You know, and then I started saying I'll call them ISIS and all sorts of, racial slurs at that point.
So when I first got
I did a lot
promoted-
of
Racial slurs.
When I first got promoted to being a manager when I worked at Tyler, one of my first nights by myself, I get this call, and it's this dude telling me he's from the FBI and I need to open the safe. I told him, like, listen, bud, I ain't even got no safe code. I can't do that. You're going to have to call back and talk to the GM, and hung up. Like, oh, yeah, even if this is the FBI, I'm not opening schnick.
Right.
Y'all better go get the big boss to do this.
Exactly.
If the FBI's here, I want the big boss here anyways.
Right. No, well, the big boss is already at the front door. But always says, LOL, the FBI just kicks down your door. They don't text you. Most of the time, that's true. But
Yeah, they
what
definitely
they
don't text you.
No, they definitely don't text. But what I will say is, I remember one time I had someone on the show who was, in DC on January 6th, and he was telling me that because he was in Washington D.C. on January 6th, 2021, the FBI did call his phone, house phone, called him and said, "Sir, we're standing outside your door. Can you open? Can you please let us in? We just want to talk. We have some questions." And then he was skeptical at first, but then they opened the door. They talked to the charge.
I'm not opening that door. I'm not opening the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one try to say that they were gonna send two FBI agents over to give me a whole new social security number. I was like, "What are you doing calling me then? Send them. I'll have a word with them." Nothing happened.
All right,
was
that's
like,
how you know someone
okay.
doesn't. That's how you know someone doesn't even know how bureaucracy works. Why would the FBI be sending people's? Why would 2 FBI agents be delivering someone's social security number? That makes no sense. Unless they're in witness protection, that makes no sense.
Oh, now we're ending Harsh's controversial conspiracies. Thank you for joining this live.
All I'm saying is, on second hand, maybe I had it all wrong earlier in the show. If we have Zoomers falling for boomer level scams, then maybe it explains why everyone's stuck in the past when it comes to social issues. And on that note, this has been another edition of CSHR Radio. We'd like to thank Dr. Jean Gray, wearing her Cyclops sunglasses tonight. We'd like to thank His UnHoliness for making us present. We'd like to thank the German Ali G for joining us. And, of course, we'd like to thank everyone's favorite villain, Scott Ryan, Christopher Nicholas Sonnier, for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday night. Take care and have a great rest of your beautiful Tuesday evening.
And our co-host, Hoey, from the comments.
Host them. You know who I am. It doesn't matter. Yeah.